How do you deal with pre-race jitters? Do you even get pre-race jitters?
Depends on the race, but the big ones for sure definitely do. But you know, it's kind of part of the experience of doing something at a high level. You've done a lot of preparation, a lot of work, and then it all comes to this point in one moment, right? So I just kind of embrace it, honestly. It's like, that's why I'm here. Get excited.
Does it ever get easier to handle as you race more?
I guess you get more used to it, but not really. Still pretty much the same feeling. Yeah.
How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
I think it's just, it is what it is, and you just got to know that you've already prepared for what you're doing, and all you got to do is ride like you've been riding in the past, and it is what it is. You'll do great, and yeah, you just got to forget about it. Everyone has it, so.
How long before the race do you start to get those jitters?
Definitely as we're approaching and you can see other cars with bikes. So that's when I get them.
Does it get easier to deal with those jitters over time?
I think so, because, well, it's like you know that they're gonna come, and so you can deal with them better, obviously, if you've had them in the past, so I think so, yeah.
How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
It's a really good question. Well, I swam collegiate, and so that was really hard, and I kind of learned just to stay calm and remember that we're here to have fun, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day, and no one's going to be mad at you if you mess up. So I just try to calm myself down that way and eat a lot. That helps.
Does it get better with time, like the more races you do or the higher category you achieve? Does those race jitters get easier to handle?
I think so. I just upgraded to Cat 2, so I'm like really nervous today. But yeah, once I was like had a lot of Cat 3 races under my belt, I felt like prepared. I knew what to do. So it does get better over time, I think.
How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
I've been racing long enough now. I make sarcastic jokes about it. Just like, yep, I'm gonna sprint for 50th place today. It's gonna be great. Today for me, especially here at Snelling, it's a flat race. I'm just here for the motor pacing session, so just, you just joke around about it for me, because bike racing's fun.
But at this point, after so many races, do you still kind of get nervous and like a little bit of butterflies?
It depends on the race. Like, if it's a race that I really want to do well at, or have done well in the past, then I'll get a couple, I might get a little bit of pre-race jitters because I'm nervous and amped. It also depends on how much caffeine I had that morning.
It's all about caffeine.
Yeah, if I have too much caffeine, I'll just be like, oh my God, I'm gonna explode, but
You're not recording, are you?
I am recording, yeah. No, that's the question. How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
You just try not to let them get to you. I don't know, I really don't. I try not to think about it. It's hard. It's funny though, once you start the race, the first 15 seconds, it's completely out of sight, out of mind.
How long before the race starts do you start to get those jitters?
I think when I was loading up the car this morning, and it was about an hour and a half drive here, and I'm here now, so probably 3 hours before the race.
Does it get easier with time? Like the more races you do you feel like your jitters are easier to handle?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely easier is the more you race. I mean, today's the first race of the season, so I think that's why I'm majorly nervous. But once you get out there and you test yourself and you see where you line up with everyone else, I've noticed I don't get as nervous anymore. The only times I would get nervous is if like a course is technical or sketchy, then I'd be a little nervous before the race. But other than that, as I continue to race throughout the season, it's not really an issue anymore.
How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
caffeine. That helps.
Yeah.
It does.
Does the pre-race jitters get any easier with time?
Yeah, it does. It does. My jitters are just not from the actual race itself, but from just getting out there and letting the team down. So that's what worries me. So it's more the better shape I'm in, the less jitters I have. If I'm kind of racing and it's, I think my fitness is marginal, that's where I'm a little nervous. Driving to the race, getting dressed, etc.
How long before the race do you think that kind of starts to set in?
Probably as soon as you pick up your race number.
How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
Go to the toilet a lot.
About what time do you start to get those jitters? Like how far away from the race?
Oh, it really just depends on the race, to be honest. Most races you're fine, you don't really have any issues, and then sometimes you're a bit nervous if it's a big race or you have a lot of responsibility. I mean, I don't know, you can be nervous for it before you even leave the hotel, you know, like, so just really depends on the day and the race.
Does it get better with time? Like as you get further along the ranks and more races under your belt, or is that kind of pre-race butterflies just exist always?
Oh no, I think it gets better for sure. I mean, once you've done a lot of the races on the circuit and you've been there before and you've experienced that race, you're always less nervous the next time you do it. So,
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How do you deal with pre-race jitters?
I don't. I just get really nervous.
What is like your pre-race maybe like ritual to try to calm those down or anything?
Have some coffee, have good thoughts, be ready for it, and go have fun. Just know that you can't control it, and you can only be the safest wheel you can be.
Does it get any easier to deal with those jitters as time goes on, like the more races you do, or is it just always there?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely gets better. The more races you've done, the more confident you are in your fitness, your ability, that you're not going to do anything stupid. And that makes the race a whole lot safer. And then you know you can deal with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the higher category you get, the better people are riding.
Right on.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.